Have you ever stared at your course catalog and just wondered if there's some secret logic to it all? Why this class before that one? Or why the same topic seems to pop up in 3 different courses? Well, guess what? There is. There's an entire architecture hiding just under the surface of your degree, and today we are pulling back the curtain.
So let me ask you, really, what does your degree feel like? Does it feel like a journey where every class is a new step forward, building on the last? Or, let's be honest, does it sometimes feel more like a random checklist of credits you just have to tick off to get that diploma? It's a fair question.
Because, spoiler alert, those course selections aren't random, not even a little bit. Behind every quality degree, there's a grand plan. This whole thing is designed, monitored, and constantly tweaked to make sure the program delivers on its promise. And this is often guided by accrediting bodies. Think of them as the quality inspectors for education, like the AACSB for business schools.
And that is the key word right there, a promise. A university doesn't just hand you a piece of paper, they're making a guarantee. A guarantee that by the time you walk across that stage, you will have mastered a very specific set of skills. But how do they actually prove it?
Well, that promise has an official name, and it is the absolute heart of this entire system. It's a process that's designed to make sure, without a doubt, that students are actually learning what the university says they're learning.
It's called Assurance of Learning, or AOL for short. The easiest way to think about it is quality control for your education. It's the university's way of constantly checking in and asking, hey, is this actually working? Are students really getting what we promised? It is all about accountability. So, what are they promising?
We're not just talking about memorizing facts and figures here. We're talking about the core skills that will actually matter in your career. Things like real analytical thinking, being a great communicator, both written and out loud, understanding ethics, knowing how to apply your knowledge, working in a team, the stuff that makes you valuable.
Okay, which brings us to the million-dollar question, right? How in the world does a huge university coordinate all of this across dozens, sometimes hundreds of different courses with different professors to make sure every single student develops these exact same skills?
Well, they have a secret weapon, a master blueprint, if you will. It's a powerful tool called a curriculum map, and it literally visualizes your entire learning journey from day one to graduation.
And this is it. I know, at first glance, it just looks like a spreadsheet, but this thing is a total game changer. So, down the side, you've got those big learning goals we just talked about. Across the top, those are your actual courses. But the letters I, D, and E, that's where the magic is. They stand for Introduced, Developed, and Enhanced. This map shows exactly where you first learn a skill, where you practice it, and where you master it.
Okay, let's make this real. Let's follow one of these skills through the maze. See row C on the map? Ethics and global perspectives? How do you go from knowing nothing about that to being an expert?
It happens in stages, kind of like a workout plan for your brain. You don't just walk into the gym on day one and lift the heaviest weight, right? First, in one course, the idea is introduced. That's like learning the basic form. Then, in other courses, you develop that skill. You're doing the reps, applying it to problems. And finally, usually in your big final year courses, you enhance it. This is where you master it by tackling the really tough challenges.
You see, nothing about this is by accident. It is a completely intentional, step-by-step plan to build up your intellectual muscle. Every assignment, every group project is a rep in a carefully designed workout routine.
But wait, it gets even cooler. This plan isn't just set in stone. The most powerful part of this whole assurance of learning thing is that it's a living system. The university is constantly collecting data to see if the plan is working, and then they use that data to improve it. They call this closing the loop.
Check this out. Here's a real-world example. A program had a target. 75% of students should be great at oral presentations. But when they measured it, only 68% were hitting the mark. So what did they do? They didn't just cross their fingers and hope for the best. Nope. They went back to the curriculum map and added a new, mandatory presentation module into a required marketing class. 2 years later, boom, that result jumped up to 80%. That is closing the loop in action. It's this beautiful, simple cycle, isn't it? The data shows a problem, the faculty make a surgical change to the curriculum, and student learning actually gets better. The entire system is built from the ground up to constantly improve itself.
So when we put all this together, what does it really mean for you? It means you can finally see the deliberate architecture that's been built all around you.
So now you have 2 ways to see your degree.
You can see it as that random checklist of disconnected classes where you just kinda hope for the best. Or you can see it for what it truly is. A structured journey designed to build interconnected skills with a little assurance that you're learning what matters.
And that's the bottom line. You are not just here to collect credits. You are here to build real, solid competence. Every course, every assignment is a deliberate piece of a puzzle designed to make you capable, skilled, and absolutely ready for whatever comes next.
So here's my challenge to you. The next time you look at your course schedule, don't just see a list of classes. Try to see the blueprint. Look for the connections, look for the journey, and ask yourself, what's the hidden architecture of my education?